is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are so.
It's another beautiful night in Atlanta, Georgia, as we continue our first homestand here at SunTrust Park. Tonight, it's Game 2 of our series between the Braves and the Washington Nationals. Atlanta almost pulled off a ninth-inning miracle last night. We'll see if Julio Teheran can get the Braves back in the win column in the middle game of the series. Hi again, friends. Chip and Joe, welcome to the ballpark. Crazy finish to the game last night. Unfortunately, it's been a similar story for the Braves, who haven't found a way to consistently beat the Washington Nationals. We hope that trend stops tonight, because Julio Teheran's got the ball, and he's arguably been the best Braves starter so far this year.
I think he has been from his first start through his third. He easily could be 2-0 this year instead of just 1-0, but a sub-1 ERA. Only 2 earned runs in 19 innings. You're seeing a little bit of his action against the Pirates, the Mets, and the Marlins, or excuse me, against the Padres. So he's pitched really well. What's impressed me is he's been very aggressive with his fastball, getting ahead in the count. And he'll need that tonight, because this is a team that has given him fits. In 13 career starts, 14 home runs allowed. That will be instrumental for him keeping the ball in the ballpark tonight against a very good lineup.
5 Nationals starters are hitting over 300. They have the top batting average in the National League. A true test for Julio Teheran. He'll get things started with first pitch and more right after this.
On Fox Sports South is presented by your local Chevy dealers. Georgia Drive Chevy. Find new roads.
Nice crowd filing into SunTrust Park. Game 2 of our series, Braves and the Washington Nationals. Washington escaped with a 3-1 victory last night. Max Scherzer was simply dazzling in Game 1. A look at the Atlanta defense. Peterson, Inciarte, and Markakis left to right in the outfield. Garcia, Swanson on the left side. Phillips, Freeman on the right. Anthony Recker gets a start for the Braves. here in Game 2. And of course, as we mentioned, Julio Teheran looks to change his individual luck against Washington tonight.
Well, as the team has struggled against the Nationals, so has Julio. His last 7 starts, a 5.18 ERA. And in those 7 starts, the team has not won one of them, a high batting average as well. Let's check out his 4 keys to pitching success. And it starts with Indy battles tonight, and those are individual battles with Harper, who's a .419 hitter with 5 homers against him. Murphy, a .400 hitter with a home run. Ryan Zimmerman has 2 home runs off of him. He has struggled to keep the ball in the ballpark, so containment tonight. Friendly confines of SunTrust Park will be important for him, and he has not given up a home run so far this year.
That's the encouraging number in his first 19 innings. As I mentioned, the Nationals and their Toyota starting lineup, 5 regulars hitting over 300. They have the top batting mark so far in the National League, hitting .279 as a group. Eaton, Rendon, and Harper, a very potent 1-2-3. Trey Turner beginning a rehab assignment, won't see him in the series. Murphy's their cleanup man, Zimmerman 5th, Worth, Wieters, Defoe, and Joe Ross is the 9th place hitter. Joe, we got to find a way to beat these guys. Atlanta's lost 16 of the last 20 head-to-head with the Nationals.
Hopefully it'll start tonight. Braves have their ace on the mound. Nationals have called up Joe Ross from AAA to pitch in this game. Advantage Atlanta.
So Adam Eaton is ready to go. He's been on base in all 12 of his starts in his first year with Washington. And Julio's first of the night is off the plate. Ball 1. 75 degrees, perfect weather, gentle breeze blowing from left to right here at SunTrust. And a high fly ball into shallow right should be easy for Nick Markakis, and Teheran gets the Nationals leadoff man. 1 man down.
I was talking to Nick yesterday about playing in this ballpark, if he was getting his bearings yet, and he said, yeah, I'm getting close. Still working on depth perception because of the different background from Turner Field, let's say. But no problems on that high fly.
Anthony Rendon is the Washington third baseman. He was hitless last night. Rendon batting but 191 in the early going. Grounded toward third. Friendly hop for Garcia, and a good throw gets his man. 2 outs. And here's Bryce Harper. Harper had a nice night at the plate last night. Had a couple of hits, 2 doubles. The only blemish for Bryce, he got picked off second base in what was a scoreless game in the 4th. Harper's 16 career homers against the Braves. 5 of those 16 have come against Julio Teheran.
Yeah, they've had an individual battle, to be sure. There was one instance where Julio plunked him too, and the bench is emptied.
Harper at .354 for the year. He swings the first pitch and skies that one to deep right center field. Ender as far as he can go. Looks up, and that ball is gone. Bryce Harper on the first pitch puts Washington in front. So the first individual battle is won by Bryce Harper.
He owns Julio. I don't know how, but it continues into 2017. He's now 14 for 32 with 6 homers. Just enough.
The first home run allowed by Teheran this year. His nemesis Bryce Harper gives Joe Ross a first inning lead. Here's Daniel Murphy. And Murphy takes outside. A rare offer for the Washington second baseman last night. And despite going 0 for 4, Murphy's still hitting .368. Danny Gonzalez has the plate and says that one's good enough. 2 balls and a strike. Washington starts play tonight at 8-5 on the year. Bryce Harper has just hit their 17th home run as a club.
Julio's velocity has been good. It's been 92, 93 consistently. He's had a good slider and a good changeup.
Ball was outside. Murphy's aboard with a 2-out walk.
One of the other numbers that jumps out at you for Julio, though, would be the walks. That's his 9th walk in less than 20 innings.
Ryan Zimmerman's off to a good start. 7 career hits against Julio. 2 of those have left the park. And in for a strike.
So far, a lot of pitches up.
One ball, 1 strike. That went down and away to the Nationals' first baseman. Zimmerman had a couple of hits, drove in a run last night. He's knocked in 7 teammates so far this year. Very short lead by Murphy with 2 outs at first. Fly ball again, right center. Ender on the run, slowing now. That carries out to the warning track, and that retires the side. Bryce Harper hammers the first pitch from Julio out of the park. The Nationals jump in front. Washington in front. Ender and Ciarte, thankfully, is going to lead off the bottom half of the inning for the Braves, who got a very big scare with Ender during batting practice today.
The center field gate was open, and he was chasing fly balls, and when he chased a ball out in through the gate with those spikes on, he slipped and fell on the concrete. And a scary situation for everybody. Hopefully his backside, his hand, his neck, anything else that might have been jolted from that are okay for tonight.
And hopefully the gate will be shut during batting practice.
Let's hope so.
From now on, here's the Braves Toyota starting lineup. Anthony Recker gets a start behind the plate. Tyler Flowers will probably be ready to start for the Braves Friday in Philadelphia. He is eligible and available to pinch hit again tonight, as Joe Ross gets things started with a strike here in the bottom of the first inning.
Joe Ross, a good-looking young pitcher. He's just 23, 6'4", 220 out of Oakland, California. Former first-round pick by the Padres. Last year, 7-5 with a 3.43 ERA for the Nats, and he's always been a good starter, as those numbers would tell you.
1 ball, 1 strike. Enciarte lays down a bunt, and it's a good one. Ross Fields throws late to first, a bunt single, and Enciarte's aboard to start the inning. That'll make Matt Kemp very happy, because Ender's playing a leadoff man's game, not the home run game.
Boy, that was really softened beautifully. Ross slipped a little bit too as he was planning, but he had no play.
And speaking of Matt Kemp, he's playing tonight for Gwinnett in a rehab game, already with a sacrifice fly tonight. And if all goes well, it's expected that Matt will be in the Atlanta Braves lineup for Game 3 tomorrow night. Here's Dansby, 0 for 4 last night, hitting 140 for the year. And he takes high from Ross. 1 ball, no strikes.
I asked Kevin Seitzer today about Dansby Swanson and what they were working on. And he said one of the things is loosening his grip on the bat, that he seems to be too tight in his shoulders and hands. That's slowing his swing down a little bit. Trying to get him to relax that a little bit and relax the grip on the bat.
Good lead at first for Ender. And a strike. Brian Snitker was asked directly by the Braves beat writers before the game, any thoughts of moving Dansby Swanson around in the lineup or Adonis Garcia in the lineup? Both of those guys are struggling, and as of now, Brian said no indication that that's going to happen. He likes Dansby hitting where he is in front of Freddie Freeman. One pitch, didn't get it. And the other thing that's encouraging, I would assume, Joe, that even with those two guys not doing an awful lot at the plate, Braves are still averaging about 5 runs a game without Matt Kemp on this homestand.
That's a real good sign. All these guys have been chipping in during this good run. He said too that when the hands get tight on the bat, that you start trying to use your body too much to try and swing it, and that's why Dansby's shoulder's been flying out some.
One ball, 2 strikes. Freddie Freeman waits on deck. Nothing new for Atlanta this year. This is the 13th out of 14 games they've trailed at 1 point to an opponent.
That's right.
A Bryce Harper 2-out solo home run on the first pitch thrown to him by Julio Teheran gives Dusty Baker's club an early lead. Strike 3 called, 1 out.
First baseman number 5, Freddie Freeman.
So here's Freddie Freeman. And he's our Georgia lottery hitting the jackpot.
Incredible numbers. Second in the league in batting average, on base percentage, and slugging percentage. Tied for 6th in homers. And he's on a run right now. 10 straight plate appearances where he's reached base. 6 of those by hit.
He's got a chance to tie Jeff Burroughs for the Atlanta record right here, right now. Who did that 11 times back in 1978 for the Braves. Ball 1.
Jeff Burroughs a heck of a hitter too. Beetlebug. Freddie is one of those guys that in a lot of ways a hitter can learn from him, but with respect to that grip on the bat, that's one of them too. It's not a real loose grip. It's just he's just holding the bat. He's not squeezing it. It's one of the reasons he can flick that barrel through there so quickly.
Didn't get the inside corner. Ross just missed. 2 balls and a strike.
Ross throws hard. He's 91 to 93. Slider, change up. Pitched well for these guys last year. 19 starts, 7-5 with a 3.43.
And as has been said so often of Ross, he is a tall, athletic right-hander, Joe, with smooth mechanics and a downhill delivery that deceives hitters.
And he was another steal in that, maybe the deal of the century for the Nationals, that also brought Trey Turner to their ball club.
Good hitters count. 3 balls and a strike. And ball 4. So Freeman does indeed reach for the 11th consecutive plate appearance. That ties the Atlanta record, and now Ross in trouble with a rare walk, 1st and 2nd, and only 1 man out for Nick Markakis.
Ross made 2 starts for Syracuse, and 9 2/3 innings, gave up 12 hits. He also struck out 9 in his 9 2/3.
Shoulder problems sidetracked him for about 2 months last year, but no signs of shoulder trouble tonight. He's throwing hard. So let's see what Nick can do. Braves last night were 0 for 8 with runners in scoring position against Max Scherzer. Let's see if they can cash in their first chance here. Little flare. They will cash it in. Here comes Ender around third. He's going to score. Freeman's on his way to third. Atlanta ties it up with a base hit by Nick Markakis.
Nick didn't waste any time. Fastball kind of running away from him. Takes it the other way. And picks up his 8th RBI to tie the game up already. Ender appears to be running well, so that's again a good sign for him.
8 RBIs for Markakis. Now Brandon Phillips will try to put the Braves in front. Brandon's knocked in 6 runs in his last 10 games, batting .359 in that stretch. A base hit to left. Freddie scores. It's 2-1. Brandon Phillips with his 7th RBI.
Brandon's had a good homestand. That makes him 8 for 21. slider that was a cement mixer. Didn't do anything, and Brandon was all over it. He's hit in 6 straight.
So Adonis Garcia is the batter. Adonis hitting 163 for the year. That's only part of the story. He's 4 for 42 against right-handed pitching.
That's not good. 4 for 42.
And Ross delivers a strike. Two in the first for Atlanta so far. They now lead 2-1. One ball, one strike.
All fastballs, and up to 95 on that one to Garcia after hanging that slider to Phillips.
And on this 75-degree night, you can see Ross is already sweated through the bill of his cap. He's about to throw his 19th pitch in the opening inning. Good cut, but fouled straight back. It's 2-2.
That bat's too pretty. Adonis needs to put some marks on that thing, you know, and make marks with base hits. Might have gone to a different model tonight, and that's why it's so clean shaven.
2 on 1 out, 2-2 pitch. Sharply hit towards short. Defoe with a flip to Murphy. Nice play to recover. And it's a double play to retire the side. 2 runs, 3 hits. The action starts with a bunt hit by Ender Inciarte. And a Nick Markakis and Brandon Phillips hit gives Atlanta a first inning lead. Julio Teheran. This is whether Ender Inciarte was going to play tonight after his batting practice spill, and a bunt and a run scored. He's still getting some attention on the Braves bench.
Well, I am quite certain that that kind of fall has caused everything to kind of stiffen up, and that's his throwing arm that he's trying to move around there on his left shoulder, but that may be something that's radiating from his back or neck. Who knows? He took quite a spill, and As soon as he hit the ground, there were 2 or 3 pitchers standing out in that general area during batting practice, yelling for help.
And again, I'm really surprised that those gates were open during batting practice. That's where they take the batting cages and the protective screens. There are a few police officers and such standing out there to watch batting practice too, but can't see any reason for those doors to be open when you got outfielders and pitchers shagging fly balls before the game.
I'm also confident that won't be a problem from here on out.
So Julio Teheran's got the lead, 2-1. Jason Worth leads off for the Nationals. And you know what? Now that you see that shot, that's a grate right there that I'm sure is used for drainage. There's the 1-1 pitch. Thankfully, Ender Inciarte's spikes didn't get caught in that.
Yeah.
Saw something last night after the game I don't think I've ever seen before, and that is a player on a winning team confront the umpire after the game was over. After the 3rd and 4th strike was recorded to Chase d'Arnaud.
Jason Worth had to measure his post-game comments so as not to run the risk of a suspension or a fine, but he got his point across about his disdain for Mr. C.B. Buckner.
Line drive into left field. Worth's aboard. That's the 2nd Washington hit. And if you missed it, this was the crazy scene in the 9th inning. Chase d'Arnaud, the final Braves hitter, swung and missed this pitch. C.B. Buckner heard something. He first raised his hands to say foul ball. The Nationals celebrated. The umpires got together and discussed it. Somebody said, well, this isn't reviewable. If you heard a tip, we've got to throw another pitch here. All the post-game equipment had to go back behind the boards. Very next pitch was the same pitch, a strikeout. And then Jason Worth charged in from left field and let C.B. Buckner have it.
He's a very competitive guy. This is a very competitive team, one that has designs on a world championship. And his comments today were, you know, what if one game kept us out of the playoffs or out of a postseason berth because of a call like that.
1 ball, no strikes for Matt Wieters.
If Chase d'Arnaud had gotten a base hit to win the game, there might have been a huge dog pile over there by third base, not just an argument.
And a big tip of the cap to Ron Washington. I mean, he really did a lot of politicking to at least get the umpires to think about that ball being tipped. My question is, first the 2-0 pitch. On a pitch in that location for the home plate umpire, that's almost impossible to see. You are hearing things back there. My question is, what were the other 3 umpires looking at? I mean, d'Arnaud missed that ball by a foot.
Well, one of the things I noticed today watching the replay that I didn't notice last night was that as the pitch was made and in the dirt, C.B. Buckner threw his hands in the air to signal foul ball, dead ball, foul ball. And then as everybody started walking off the field, then he dropped his hands and started walking too. But his initial call was foul ball. Watch him behind the plate here. He looks down, sees the ball loose, foul ball, and then he signals out.
So at least for Washington, justice prevailed. They got the win, but not without an awful lot of drama last night. Here's Wilmer Defoe, a single and a walk already for Julio in the 2nd. He's not been crisp yet. And fouled away by the stand-in shortstop, Wilmer Defoe, who was 1 for 4 and drove in a run last night.
Last night, one of the keys for Mike Foltynewicz was on base percentage. These guys reach base a lot. They have a high batting average. That's why you cannot really run the risk of putting a bunch of guys on base with walks. 2 already for Julio. He needs a ground ball here ahead of the pitcher.
And Julio walked 4 in 6 innings last time out. No balls, 1 strike. Popped up, foul ground left side. That, however, will reach the seats. And Julio ahead, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
I want everybody to know that Mr. Sinatra made that catch.
Another pop. And we'll do it again. Braves get a break. We won't see Trey Turner in this series. Trey Turner is beginning a rehab assignment as he comes back from his hamstring issues. Braves will also get Matt Kemp back, we believe, tomorrow. 1 ball, 2 strikes. At least we don't think we'll see Trey Turner. The way he tears up Braves pitching, that's always a good thing.
Yep. Oddly, the Braves don't go to Washington for a long time. Is it June?
Is that right?
Trip. June 12, 13, 14.
Something else odd about our schedule with the Nationals? They're all 1-city road trips, every single one of them. 3 up and backs head to head with the Nats. And Wilmer Defoe is going through a dozen baseballs all by himself in this at bat. He's making Julio pile up the pitches.
Defoe's kind of like JT Riddle down in Miami when he's playing for Echeverria. There's no real offensive expectations. Just catch the ball. We've got other guys to hit. But last night he came through with a huge RBI hit.
More balls than strikes for Julio so far. That's not like him. Defoe drove in the first Nationals run in the 5th inning last night. He's in an RBI spot here. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Boy, he has really missed.
Joe Ross, the pitcher, waits next.
Tried to overthrow that slider, and he got no break on that.
Great job by Defoe. He's about to see his 9th pitch. And now Anthony Recker is out to talk it out. Julio got the first 2 batters of the game pretty easily. Eaton flied out, Rendon grounded out, then Harper ambushed a fastball. And I wonder if that's affected Julio's aggressiveness.
It's almost, yeah, taking some of the sting out of him. He's been real kind of aiming the ball since then.
Fly ball hit toward right center field. That's going to get down. Inciarte plays it on a hop. And Washington has the bases loaded. A terrific at bat by Defoe. 2 singles and a walk, loads him up for Joe Ross, who hit .244 last year in limited duty for Washington.
Yeah, that was a tremendous at bat. And the reputation of Ender Inciarte helped prevent a run from scoring, as Worth had to wait and make sure Ender wasn't going to run that down.
They're loaded with nobody out. The Braves just gave Julio the lead. And now he's ahead of his mound opponent. Strike 1. There's a good breaking ball.
He was just saving it for the pitcher.
There's the first out of the inning. Now we need to break out a little history.
The magnificent second will be coming up as soon as Eaton hits into the old 6-4-3 double play.
That would be nice.
Well, he had a good sequence there on those 3 pitches. Fastball, slider, changeup, beauty.
Julio could use an atom ball. Worth the runner at third, Wieters at second, Defoe at first.
Did you say Adam Eaton ball?
That too.
Stylish socks. Good pitch.
Put another one there. Nationals as a club have done an excellent job of cashing in their scoring opportunities. A .311 team batting average with runners in scoring position. And Eaton's 4 for 9 in this spot. 1 ball, 1 strike. That is cued foul. And 2-2.
He really took a lot off that one. 81 miles an hour. I think the changeup that got Ross was about 83 or 84. This one really pulled the string on it right off the end of the bat.
So let's see what he has in mind with a 2-2 count. One of his better fastballs of the night. Eaton was late, but he stays alive. Another 2-2 pitch. Is squibbed into left field for a base hit. That'll score Worth to tie the game. And the Nationals play station to station with one out. Eaton with an RBI, his 7th of the year.
This is kind of what we heard about Adam Eaton in a scouting report, is that he will battle you. He will give you a good at bat, and able to fight this one off at the top of the zone. And a little Texas leaguer for an RBI. Julio closing in on 30 pitches this inning.
Now Anthony Rendon is the Nationals hitter.
And you know who's on deck.
Yeah.
Rendon's been going after the first pitch already in this series 2 or 3 times, so be careful on the first one here.
Got the inside corner call. Rendon played 156 games last year, hit 20 homers. For the second time in his big league career, he had a 21 homer season back in 2014. Also scored 91 runs.
Well, he stayed on the field, wasn't hurt. His knees were better.
Popped up, foul ground. Freeman might have a play. He's at the railing, but no such luck. It's 1-2. And you're right, Joe. 2015, Rendon managed only 80 games. Strained the MCL in his left knee during spring training. And didn't debut until June 4th that year. Last season won the Comeback Player of the Year award in the National League.
Pitch number 31 in the inning coming up.
And that's ripped foul.
That appeared to be a slider that was kind of like that one Ross threw, just spinning, had no bite to it and no tilt. It stayed right there on the inside third, and fortunately it was pulled foul.
Strike 3 called, a fastball on the outside corner. Rendon didn't like it. So that's big second out. But now you have a little more history between Julio Teheran and Bryce Harper. Bryce Harper last year hit a grand slam against Julio.
He was no cheapie either.
Five of Harper's last 6 hits have gone for extra bases, including a first pitch, first inning homer. And Julio just trying to move him off the plate.
The scouting report on Harper is that you can pitch him in, you just can't pitch him down and in. Stands off the plate, as you can see, and then dives in.
Fly ball well hit center. Ender Inciarte on the run as far as he can go, and Bryce Harper's hit another grand slam.
I don't recall seeing anything quite like this on an individual one-on-one basis between a player and pitcher. That was down and out over the plate. It had that sound. And Harper, even though he's never played here before, had a pretty good feeling about it. Great effort by Ender.
Who wishes the center field gate was open that time.
Yeah.
So a 5-run second. Bryce Harper has a solo homer. He has a grand slam. And this excruciating long inning for Julio Teheran continues with Daniel Murphy. 6-2 Washington. It's the second inning.
This after the Braves had given Julio the lead in the bottom of the first. I played with a guy who was a terrific hitter named Bruce Bhakti. And he owned a left-handed pitcher named Sid Manji of the Indians. But Sid was primarily a reliever. So it wasn't like 3 or 4 at-bats a night. It was a couple of times a series. And Bruce used to just wear him out. But this is unlike anything I've ever seen.
Bryce Harper's 12th career multi-homer game. He now has 7 lifetime homers against Julio and a grand slam in the second.
Park on-up experience right outside the yard house across from the Mizuno. Yeah, it's good stuff. You come in here, you get a confidence test. I learned that I'm in the 34% that likes to spend money. Got some eye block, got a cool ID, went over, hit 1 out of 5 home runs, which is very, very fun on the big screen, and then took a super fan challenge where I ended up middle of the pack. You got to know Chipper Jones well if you're going to take that one. A lot of things to like here at the Battery, outside of the park, not just inside. Great, great place. SunTrust Park on-up experience.
That is great, Paul, and I love the what do you call those the eye stickers?
Yeah.
What exactly the
eye blue?
Yes, exactly. Well, nowhere to go but up for the Braves tonight. 6-2. Bryce Harper, a one-man wrecking crew, a solo homer and a grand slam. As Jace Peterson, Anthony Recker, and Julio Teheran are coming up in the second. 2-2.
Good life on that fastball. Rough first inning, given new life. Joe Ross.
That's where pitchers have tried to go to get Jace. Fastballs inside corner. That one missed too low. And now it's 3-2. Right there. Jace is caught looking. Second strikeout. And that's how the home second starts. Here's Anthony Recker. Anthony's 1 for 3 at the plate so far this year. And Tyler Flowers is active. Braves not ready to put him in harness behind the plate quite yet with that hamstring issue. He is able to pinch hit. And Atlanta will give that leg a little extra rest tonight. And tomorrow might see Tyler back in the lineup Friday night with Bartolo Colon and Jeremy Hellickson toiling up at Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia.
It'll be interesting to see, in light of Tyler's leg injury, if they keep a third catcher or Johan Camargo once Kemp is activated, if it would be an infielder that is sent back. Tell you what, he's feeling good now. 6-2 lead. He's letting it rip. 95 on that last pitch too.
Nope. Even count. Yeah, the right-handers in this Washington starting rotation are going to bring some heat, aren't they? Ground ball toward Rendon. Nice play. 360 spin, and Zimmerman a nice dig out at first. You've got Ross tonight. You've got Tanner Roark. You've got Steven Strasburg, and of course Max Scherzer.
That was not an easy one, Hopper. As you can tell from the look on Zimmerman's face. Julio may wait him out here, just make him throw as many pitches as he can.
Two balls, no strikes. Base is empty. 6-2 Nationals. And a base hit for Tehran.
Or maybe not.
Ender Inciarte's the batter. Already 4 homers. A long one here would make things a little more interesting. Ender a bunt single and scored the first Braves run. Nick Markakis brought him home. And there's another body part that hurts.
Yeah, that's what he needed.
That looks like such an innocent play, but it can do a whole lot of damage. Just ask Logan Forsythe of the Dodgers. He fouled a ball off his foot a couple of days ago, broke a bone in his foot. DL.
One of their key acquisitions last winter.
No balls and a strike. And that's right there. Dodgers have Clayton Kershaw going tonight. He'll try to beat the surging Colorado Rockies. They're getting excellent pitching. Rockies and Diamondbacks, the top two teams in the National League West. The Dodgers 3 games behind them. And Ender chased a high fastball, and that's the end of the Atlanta second. No runs, a hit, a man left. 6-2, Nationals lead it. As April in the ATL continues here at SunTrust Park with the Braves, Hawks, and Atlanta United, presented by Cook's Pest Control. 6-2, Washington has the lead. Bryce Harper has hit 2 homers, including a grand slam in his first 2 at-bats. RBI Baseball 2017 returns with fast-paced pick-up and play MLB action packed with all your favorite MLB teams, players, ballparks, and much more. Get RBI Baseball today for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and all your mobile devices. Learn more at rbigame.com.
Julio needs a 1-2-3 inning. Just to feel like he's getting back, getting his skis under him again.
38 pitches last inning. And here in the third, he'll have Zimmerman, Worth, and Wieters coming up. Not sure where the cutoff for Player of the Week honors will be or is, but Bryce Harper had a 5 RBI game on Sunday. He's got a 5 RBI game today. I would say he's the early leader for the National League honor this week.
That can run your total up pretty good if you get 10 every 3 days.
Right. $18 RBIs for Harper. This is the Nationals' 14th game. To third, Adonis got a topspin hop, and a strong throw takes care of Zimmerman. There's out number 1. Jason Worth singled and scored his first hit of the series. Unlike Bryce Harper, Tehran has been very tough on Worth. With that second inning hit, Jason now 6 for 33 head-to-head against Julio.
It's funny, as a hitter, you know when you own a guy, when you're going well and you've got a lot of confidence against him, and it doesn't matter what he throws, you know you're going to hit something hard somewhere. But in this situation, when Worth is scuffling a little bit against a pitcher, You may know he's hard on you and tough on you. Well, he's hurt. But you may not know it's this bad. He hurt himself, hurt a groin.
Did he do that on the first pitch here?
Yeah, he was trying to get weight off of it right away.
And Worth is not going to be able to continue.
His career has been injury plagued with the Nationals too. He's had seasons where he's missed a lot of time.
Worth was going to go to Georgia and play for the Bulldogs before he signed a pro contract with the Orioles. And you're right. Last year, 143 games, 88 games in 2015, 81 games in 2012. But Jason Worth tweaked something here in the third inning. And I believe that's Chris Heisey who's grabbed the bat. And he'll be announced as the pinch hitter. Heisey, a former Red and LA Dodger.
He's an excellent pinch hitter. Tonight, he'll get more than just one at bat. He's getting loose. We've been given another delivery. Gotta love it.
Our friends at Delaware North took care of us again tonight. Not one, not two, but 3 double cheeseburgers and maybe the most beautiful plate of nachos I've seen in a ballpark in history.
Yeah, pork nachos with jalapenos that, I mean to tell you, have a lot of hollow in them.
So our thanks to the great folks at Delaware North taking such great care of us this homestand. Not only is the ballpark beautiful, great menu too here at SunTrust Park. 2-0 the count for Heisey, who nearly got drilled. Welcome to the game, Chris.
Yeah. He almost hurt himself just jackknifing out of the way.
Yeah, check your back.
Uh-huh.
There's a strike. Fly ball shallow center. Ender puts the squeeze on that. Heisey's the second out. And here's Wieters, who walked and scored ahead of Harper's slam. Mentioned last night that Wieters is the 22nd man to play for both the Orioles and the Nationals. The first player with that honor was the pitcher Hector Carrasco. Remember him?
Mm-hmm.
Wieters, as you know, a terrific All-American ball player at Georgia Tech. Not only behind the plate, but on the mound. He was the closer at Tech for a couple of years.
And in those days, he could throw it and then run back there and catch it, which was pretty amazing in itself.
That's the only way you could be an All-American, right?
Mm-hmm.
Didn't get it. 1 balls, 2 strikes. But when Wilson Ramos left via free agency, first option for the Nationals was Derek Norris. But then Wieters was still out on the market, and Mike Rizzo went and got him. And Norris ended up also, I believe, in Tampa Bay.
He did.
He just broke his bat. And the count 0-2. Fly ball right field. Markakis onto the warning track. And Julio has a 12-pitch inning after throwing 38 in the second. 6-2 after 2.5. Port South as April in the ATL continues tonight here at SunTrust Park. The Braves, Hawks, and Atlanta United. In honor of April in the ATL, we have representation from both the Hawks and United here at the ballpark tonight supporting the Braves. And Paul is joined by them now.
What's going on, guys? I got Kevin Willis over here to my left, Michael Parkhurst to the right, Atlanta United. This guy on the Hawks, Bartolo Colon's got nothing on this guy, 22 years. 418 offensive rebounds, which is a franchise record. Hey, Hawks down to the Wizards. What do they got to do to come back?
I think they come out a little bit more intensity as they did in the first half of last game. But being down 8 or 9 at halftime, they got to come out again with that intensity, play with more of a purpose, and come out and just jump on them on the defensive end.
Now, you're a 7-footer, so I appreciate you slouching down for this interview. But you made a comment about this park, how much you like it. You're a Braves fan.
Love the park. Just a great job. I mean, it's not a bad seat in the whole place, and it's just the fans love it. It's just you feel more intimate, and it's amazing park.
Great stuff. Michael, team captain, Atlanta United, 4-time All-Star, Defender of the Year. You're a stud. Talk to us about Atlanta and how they're fired up about soccer.
Oh, it's been amazing. The atmosphere at the 2 games we've had has been the best in my career. The support's been more than we could have dreamed of, and it's really pushed us. Hey,
first pitch, how'd he do? Did he bring the heat?
He brought the heat. It was a high trajectory from way up there, so I'm just glad I caught it.
You threw it a downward angle. How do you not throw it a downward angle when you're 7 feet? And yeah, your feet are as big as the pitching mound, so good stuff. We're going to look at some video of this, but did you have a good time?
Had a great time. Great time. Great meeting Michael. I mean, this just been a fantastic evening. Was able to bring my friends, my daughter, and just a great time.
Good stuff. I hit 74 miles an hour in center field yesterday. Did he throw harder than that?
And it's been a while since I've clocked a pitch, but it was coming in. It was coming in a lot faster than I thought it was. So it was a good pop on the glove.
7 foot coming home. We got taller than Randy Johnson, righty on the mound, defensive stud right here. April in the ATL. A lot to watch right now, guys. Back to you.
Hey, Bertie, I mean, don't leave yourself out of that stud factor.
I don't know about that, man. They're 2 superstars right here. I'm just hanging around.
Good to see those guys at the ballpark. And
yes,
we
it
wish
is.
the Hawks well tonight. Of course, Atlanta United too. That's been an amazing story. The huge crowds that have gathered at Georgia Tech to watch United play their home games.
Great addition to the Atlanta sports scene.
And we're proud to have coverage of the Hawks and United on our air here at Fox. As Dansby takes outside, Ross doesn't want to walk him to start the inning, not with a big 4-run lead, and the Thunder coming up.
Although when you're down 4, you'll take any gift they'll offer.
Strike 3 call. Dansby's retired for a second time looking. And Ross with a comeback has 4 strikeouts. And Freddie Freeman the batter.
That was a sweet pitch. Slider at the knees, outside part of the plate, borderline call.
You know what Dansby thought of it?
Yeah.
And here's Freddie Freeman. He's reached base 11 consecutive plate appearances, tying him with Jeff Burroughs for the Atlanta Braves all-time record in that statistic. He'll try to take over first place all by himself right here. Freeman scored the second Atlanta run, which gave the Braves a 2-1 lead. And he launches one to center. Eaton going back. He's going to turn. And Freeman hits one into the Chattahoochee Falls. Unbelievable.
There's a description for hitters that we use all the time called locked in, but Freddie's way past that. 95 fastball out away from him and into the drink. Goodness.
That is a new Atlanta record for Freddie Freeman, and it's a 3-run game for Nick Markakis. 6-3 the score. An old-fashioned shootout so far on a breezy, warm night at SunTrust Park. Already 3 home runs here in Game 2 of the series. It is very early in the history of this park, obviously, but I think hitters are really going to enjoy swinging the bat in this place.
I believe you're right, especially lefties.
Two balls and a strike for the Braves right fielder, Nick Markakis. And he was all over that one.
Some parks don't have the sound. This one's got the sound. Boy, the balls that have been hit out tonight have been cracked.
And again, we've only seen 5 games here, 6 if you count the exhibition. But I can't remember a time where the flags were totally still. There's always seemingly a breeze blowing one direction or the other. And tonight it's blowing stiffly out toward right.
Yeah, it's coming from Windy Hill Road, actually.
Hence the name, right? Not a play. But that's something that Mark Lemke mentioned to us. Mark, who does such a great job on the Braves radio network, said he was talking to the grounds crew guys before the opening exhibition with the Yankees, and they said every day during construction the wind was blowing hard here, not just a gentle breeze. Two balls, 2 strikes, bases empty. A Freddie Freeman solo homer brings the Braves a run closer, and that just missed.
Yeah, and he's racking up a lot of solo homers. 6 homers, 5 solos. The other was a 2-run. And all 7 of his RBIs by way of homer.
Nick didn't get that. He's had a good slider tonight, has Ross. That's his 5th strikeout already. And 2 outs for Brandon Phillips.
You know, I don't disagree at all with Brian Snitker and his thoughts that you were talking about with leaving Swanson in the lineup, leaving him where he is, not moving him around, leaving Garcia in there at third base. But when you got somebody going like Freddie, You got to get some guys on base in front of you. You got to put somebody up there in front of him right now anyway, whether it's Brandon Phillips or somebody else that's going well, and hope that they can get on base in front of him and ride Freddie with some guys on base.
Yeah, because solo home runs are great, but the opportunities for the 2- and 3-run shots are obviously not there for him right now.
Just a thought.
No balls, 1 strike. Phillips an RBI hit tonight. He jumped on the first pitch and skies this one foul. It's 0-2. And that's ultimately the biggest responsibility that a major league manager has, and that's putting together his lineup card. Who bats where, who's hot, who's not, matchups, all of those things factor in.
Well, we saw what a difference it made to the lineup when Ender got hot, started swinging the bat. A lot of his damage was home runs too.
Phillips, a little pop into shallow right that Murphy should catch, and he did, and that retires the side. Freddie Freeman has reached base in 13 consecutive plate appearances, a new Atlanta record. He will have base running to third. A laser beam homer to straightaway center cuts the Nationals' lead to 3 after 3.
Three Nats, top of the 4th. Freddie Freeman is red hot. And you can get a lot on the computer about his stats and what he's doing right now. But talking to Braves hitting coach Kevin Seitzer before the game, he said he is the best natural hitter he has ever seen. He knows himself. He has a little bit of an unorthodox swing, but he knows what to do. And to get himself right in batting practice, he tries to hit line drives over shortstop, not do too much. He doesn't want to hold the bat too tight, and he allows him to have quick hands to drive the baseball. And in the game, yeah, he can pull bombs. He's pretty good, but that's what gets him right. Back to you guys, Chip and Joe.
Yeah, I heard him tell you, Paul, that have you ever seen a home run hitter who in batting practice all he does is hit line drives to left?
Yeah.
And he's right. He stays inside the ball in batting practice, and that's what he concentrates on, is left and left center.
Jeff Brantley would tell me he mentored me in the big leagues, and he would tell me to go watch batting practice and try to see what a guy's doing instead of watching video from the last 2 weeks, because if you see what he's working on, that's what will tell you that's what he has trouble with. And he said, but don't watch Mark McGwire's BP because you won't throw any strikes. But he was right. Most of the time he was right. What a hitter was working on in BP was what they were having trouble with, and so you could adjust. So that's not the case with Freddie. You come out and watch his batting practice, he's hitting line drives over shortstop. You think he has trouble with that, and he doesn't. He can drive the ball opposite field, pull it, and even when they put that shift on, he's still finding a way to hit well over 400.
Great stuff, Paul, as Defoe fouls it away, and I erred in my comments a moment ago. It's 12 straight plate appearances that Freeman has reached with this home run.
I want to go back to that because there's something there that's so consistent in Freddie's swing.
Wow. How did he get the barrel to that pitch and foul it off?
Watch his head go to the baseball and follow his hands. Only time Freddie gets in trouble is when he lets his body get out in front, when he's like he is right now, and the body just lets the hands work. He is amazing.
So again, the two superstar hitters for the Nationals and Braves have not disappointed at all in this series. Freeman's got a homer and 2 runs scored. Bryce Harper's hit 2 homers for the Nationals, including a grand slam, and this game's only in the 4th inning. A lot more fireworks to come. 6-3 score as Defoe faces a 3-2 pitch and grounds to second. Brandon Phillips will take care of the Washington shortstop, who's been a pest at the plate. He's seen a lot of pitches, and all of a sudden Julio's retired 5 in a row, and he's got the pitcher coming up. Ross struck out his first and only time up. What does give you hope in this game is not only is Ross making his first start of the year, but if he can drive up his pitch count, as we mentioned last night, if there's an Achilles heel for Washington as their team's composed right now, it's their bullpen.
And we saw that last night.
They have taken Blake Trinan out of the closer's role. Dusty Baker said we can't continue like this after the game last night. Something's got to change, and the change is that Coda Glover and Sean Kelly for now are going to try to close games out for the Nationals. No balls, 2 strikes, and that stayed high. You might recall this offseason, Washington knew that the back end of their bullpen was a question mark, and they tried hard to acquire a frontline closer. They tried to get Wade Davis, who ended up with the Cubs, as Ross is down on strikes, and they actually offered more money to Kenley Jansen than he took with the Dodgers. Kenley Jansen left money on the table to remain with LA. So after Melanson left, Jansen stayed with the Dodgers. Davis ended up with the Cubs, and the Nationals had to kind of scramble and go with what they already had on their roster.
Weren't they trying to get David Robertson too?
That was another name that was involved in the Eaton deal.
Yeah,
but that deal couldn't be worked out, and it may be revisited at some point. And one more name to keep in mind, they have Joe Nathan, who was a closer for a long time in the big leagues. He's at AAA right now, and if this continues the way it's going for Washington, you might see him sooner rather than later.
Boy, he's battled through a lot of arm miseries over the last several years.
1 ball, no strikes. But the question I think everybody in the East will find out is, as good an offensive team as Washington looks to have on paper, can they stay at or near the top of the East for 2 months or 3 months and go out and get a closer at the deadline like they did last year in acquiring Melanson?
First time he's thrown that slow curve tonight, and they have the wherewithal to do that. If they're so inclined, they may do it before that, if they feel like it's desperate time.
One ball, 2 strikes for Adam Eaton, who has an RBI hit, and he's scored. Out of play foul. We'll do it again.
This guy reminds me of a St. Louis Cardinals hitter, and I don't mean anyone in particular. I just mean the way he goes about an at bat, battling, scratching, fouling balls off, trying to get a pitch to hit. Kind of a Cardinal way of hitting.
Matt Carpenter like maybe. Well, getting him allowed Washington to move Trey Turner back to shortstop. They figure to have a very speedy 1-2 combination batting in front of Rendon, Harper and company. And that one's off Julio's body. Adonis will handle the ricochet, and Eaton's aboard with 2 outs. Julio says he's all right. And Eaton reaches with a 2-out infield hit.
Did it bounce before it hit Julio's foot? If it hit his foot on the fly and went straight over to Garcia, that would be an out. I think it short hopped his foot. Yep. Probably a good thing it did 1 hop.
Yes, sir.
Well, needless to say, he wants to get this next guy.
And he's gotten Rendon twice. Once on a ground out, once on a called 3rd strike. Rendon didn't think much of the call. He's up for the 3rd time. We're in the 4th inning. That tells you how it's gone for Julio to this point. A 38 pitch 2nd inning, capped by Bryce Harper's 2-out grand slam. Washington scored 5 times to take a 6-2 lead. Freddie Freeman's homers made it 6-3.
Keep in mind too that that grand slam came, I think, 1 pitch after Julio had moved him back with a pitch inside. It did not have the desired effect he wanted.
Already 81 pitches for Julio tonight. Runner goes. Pitch low. Recker's throw had no chance, and Eaton almost overslid the bag. Phillips caught the ball in front of the bag, and Eaton has his 3rd steal.
Good throw by Recker. Big high leg kick by Julio here allowed Eaton a big jump. Eaton lucky to get a hand back on there.
Fouled away, 2 balls and a strike. R.A. Dickey and Steven Strasburg here tomorrow night. That'll wrap up the first homestand here at SunTrust Park. The 7th and final home game for Atlanta in the month of April. Philadelphia, New York, and Milwaukee, the next 3 road stops, and that takes us through the opening month. 2 balls and a strike. Home dates in May. We've got the Mets, Cardinals, Blue Jays, Nationals, and then the Pittsburgh Pirates. Rendon digs in, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Julio wanted something away, I believe. Yeah, Anthony setting up out there.
Driven down the right field line. That's headed for the seats. Nationals are fouling off a lot of pitches tonight.
You mentioned their, I guess, their need to improve their bullpen, and one of the things that will cause a quick move to try to get somebody is if their offense is doing their job, getting leads, their starting pitching is doing a good job for 5 or 6 innings, only to have it given away. Those types of blow-ups will cause changes right away before you get to the trading deadline for sure. For a team that has such high aspirations for this season.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Eaton with a good lead at second with 2 outs. And that one served to the right side. Phillips has it. 360 spin. No chance to get Rendon, who has an infield hit. And the Nationals making a lot of contact in this game. Have their 7th hit. And runners at first and third. And guess who's coming up with men on base again?
Action in the Braves bullpen. Will he get a chance to face him again? Coleman warming up after being brushed back in the 2nd inning. Just out of the reach of Ender Enciarte.
A first pitch homer in the first. Harper with a grand slam in the second. He's got first and third, 2 outs here in the 4th. And a wicked line drive ends up in the camera well past the Braves dugout.
Is that quick enough for you? With Garcia playing way off the line at third for Harper, Adam Eaton is coming almost halfway down the line.
No balls and a strike.
And the last thing I would want if I'm Dusty Baker is for him to do anything to distract Bryce Harper. Ball gets away, squibs away, and you get a chance to score. I get it, but you don't want anything to distract Harper the way he's swinging.
1 ball, 1 strike. And the real challenge teams are going to have with this Nationals club is, as hot as Harper is, the guy hitting behind him isn't too shabby either. So if you think about walking Harper in a situation like this, you got to deal with Murphy.
I mean, even if you thought about walking him with the bases loaded,
right,
you got to deal with Murphy. And Murphy came into the series tied for the league lead in hits.
That skips away, and Eaton halfway down the line is going to score. Recker's flip ends up over by the Braves on deck circle, and Rendon all the way around to third base. And the Nationals take a 7-3 lead. A 2-base error for Recker. Eaton scores on the wild pitch.
Anthony did all he could to try to get in front of that short breaking ball. But again, a big lead for Eaton, and then the ill-advised backhand flip. So now Harper can walk to first.
Yep. So he's intentionally walked, and now here is Murphy. (7-3) Washington. Just like the first inning, Julio got the first 2 batters relatively easily. 2 infield hits and a walk later, they've added a 7th run. And Murphy skies it out of play for a strike. As we told you, the Nationals entered this series with the highest team batting average in the National League. Popped up toward left. And that'll be handled by Jace Peterson, and that'll retire the side. 1 run, 2 hits, 1 error, 2 left. It's 7-3 Nationals.
Is brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors, official sporting goods retailer of the Atlanta Braves.
Chip and Joe with you from Atlanta. The Nationals 7, Braves 3. We are in the home 4th. Braves fans, get your tickets now to get your seats for your favorite theme nights and gate giveaways during the first year here at SunTrust Park. Got Bartolo Colon bobblehead night, Star Wars night, and more coming up. Go to Braves.com/promotions for more details.
Ooh, I like that vantage point. Mike Miller giving us a little different perspective of SunTrust Park from left field. Again, not a bad seat in the house. Close to the action.
A strike. Garcia wanted time. It wasn't granted. He backed out of the box and now is in an 0-2 hole. Adonis 4 for his last 43 against righties. He's now hitting 5 double plays, including 1 in the first inning. And a shot to right, but Harper is there, and he went to a knee to make the catch. 1 out.
May have had a little trouble with the lights there.
By the way, the Braves have a cool lighting feature working in the upper deck tonight. You can see the red and blue LED lights reflecting on the 90-foot canopy above us. Upstairs for Jace, who struck out his first time up.
Maybe trying to distract Harper somehow. Get him paying attention to that before he goes to hit the next time up.
Well, as someone mentioned in between breaks, the Braves can't even walk Harper without a run scoring. That's how big a night he's having. 2 homers, 5 RBIs, and a slam.
Colementor continues to throw in the Atlanta bullpen, just in case Julio's spot comes up in the order. I don't know if Julio will go back out for the 5th inning or not.
He's thrown a lot of pitches in his 4 innings. 3 balls and a strike. Zimmerman at first. Led perfectly. was Ross, and he beats Jace to the bag quickly. 2 out. Zimmerman doesn't have great range at first base. You know about his throwing problems. He's also had horrible plantar fasciitis problems with his feet a couple of years ago. That guy's a pro's pro. First ever pick in the history of the Washington franchise. Remember, this franchise began as the Expos. And Zimmerman is 2 RBIs away from Andre Dawson on the Montreal Washington RBI list. Believe it or not.
That's impressive.
Swing and a miss by Anthony Reckers. Strike 1.
I saw some note on him somewhere about walk-off homers. He's like up there with Stan Musial and
really,
yeah, in history.
Well, I remember one in particular. That was the first game at Nationals Park that beat the Braves.
Oh, Peter Moylan.
No balls, 2 strikes. To third. Rendon's got it. And Ross has a perfect 4th inning. Will it be Teheran or Colemanter coming out for the 5th? We'll find out with you after a break. Opening week continues at SunTrust Park. The Nationals won last night 3-1 behind Max Scherzer. Very different game tonight. Joe Ross has pitched pretty well for them, but too much Bryce Harper. 2 homers in his first 2 at bats, accounting for 5 of Washington's 7 RBIs. That's chased Julio Teheran, who's out after 4 innings. Josh Colemanter is on to face Zimmerman, Heisey, and Matt Wieters.
Josh last worked 3 days ago against the Padres, an inning with a hit, 0s across otherwise, and this will be his 3rd appearance. Yeah, I know Julio's terribly disappointed because he wanted to start trying to get the upper hand on these guys, and it didn't happen again tonight. That's too bad. And pitching so well.
And I beg your pardon, we won't know till after the game, but it seemed like that first pitch homer that Harper hit in the opening inning totally changed the aggressiveness that Julio showed getting the first 2 hitters.
Yeah, I think there is something to that.
So let's see if Colemanter can hold him right there and give the Braves a chance. Still a lot of baseball left tonight. And it's a 7-3 score. Zimmerman, the Washington first baseman, is flied out and grounded out. Fly ball right center. Ender on the run. It's curling away from him, and Zimmerman's aboard with a leadoff single.
Yeah, I found that note on him. 10 walk-off homers are tied for third in National League history, behind Stan Musial and Tony Perez.
Wow. How many does it say how many the other two had?
Musial had 12, Perez 11, and Zimmerman has 10, so he's not that far behind. And the active leader, who happens to be playing in the American League now, Albert Pujols, who also has 12.
Wow, that's great company. And Zimmerman's got a couple more years left on his deal. He has a chance to maybe take over that top spot all by himself. He has long been a very proud player for the Washington club. Very active in community affairs. He's got the Zims Foundation, which benefits those afflicted with multiple sclerosis. And I think the word that comes to mind, at least for me, with Ryan Zimmerman, not only is he a good player, but just a quiet dignity, the way he plays the game.
Yeah, he was an excellent choice, their first ever pick, and he's fulfilled that. University of Virginia.
Beg your pardon. Chris Heisey checked in for Jason Worth, who tweaked something during his at bat back in the third inning. Heisey flied out to center. And he's way ahead of Colementor. 3 balls and a strike. Three and 2. And Heisey is down swinging. Pitch was perfectly placed. 1 on, 1 out as we get another beautiful view from our Xfinity look-in cam.
I mean, that thing can zoom in so far that we could use it for replays.
And friends, that camera is located on top of a building way past the right field gate here out of the Battery. Right atop the sparkling new Comcast building. That just missed. 1 ball, 1 strike for Wieters.
Do we know when the hotel is scheduled to open?
I was told November of this year.
Okay, so after the season's
Correct.
over.
Little bouncing ball hit toward Brandon Phillips. Runner to second. Wieters retired. And here's Defoe. Defoe's seen a ton of pitches, 9 of them in his second inning at bat. 5 or 6 more, I think, in the fourth. In the Braves' fifth, Bonifacio, Inciarte, and Swanson are coming up. Nice to see Ross out of the stretch for a little while. Have him rack up a few pitches. And the Braves will intentionally walk Defoe and face the pitcher. Ross has struck out twice. A cue shot. Freddie Freeman got there. Nice flip to Colementor. And that'll retire the side. That saved a run and maybe a very long inning. Excellent play by Freddie Freeman, who's doing it all for Atlanta tonight.
In the middle of the 5th inning. Welcome back into our set here in the Battery Atlanta for this Xfinity game break. A couple of games for you. So let's get you out to the Brewers at the Cubs. Bottom of the 9th, tied up at 4 with 2 outs. Addison Russell walks it off with a line drive to left center. 3-run score. They cap off a 4-run 9th inning to win it 7-4. Mariners versus Marlins. Check this out. Christian Yelich with a great catch, crashes into the wall face first. Check it out again. That's a Gold Glover from left field, his first full season in center, and he's doing it pretty well. Mariners went on to take this one 10-5, but Chip and Joe, Christian Yelich has been doing it all for the Marlins recently.
And did you see the ball come loose? He was able to hang on to that somehow as he was falling to the ground, but that is the definition of a face plant right there.
You know who that catch reminded me of?
No.
Tim Hudson's catch in college. You remember?
Yes.
Tim's face plant. That's an outfielder at Auburn.
Mm-hmm.
Marlins had a lot of fun in Seattle last night. They almost no-hit the Mariners. Out at Safeco Field as Bonifacio tries to punt, and too close to Wieters, who pounces and throws him out. 1 away. Miami took a no-hitter into the 9th inning last night. Lost the no-hitter, but won the game 5-0. And tonight it's Volquez and Felix Hernandez working in the series wrap-up.
Hammered. Volquez crushed. Final now, isn't it?
Yeah, 5-0 just went final. Or excuse me, 10-5 Seattle.
Yeah.
Got the win. They had a big standing ovation for Ichiro, by the way, who I think hit a homer yesterday as well in his return to Seattle. One of the greatest Mariners in their franchise's history. Strike for Ender Inciarte. And one more note about the Marlins. Remember, we were down in South Florida and we're talking about the potential sale of the club by Jeffrey Loria, Jeb Bush, and Derek Jeter.
Yes.
2 rival groups. First, the pitch popped up, and Defoe will make the play for the second out. The AP reported today that Derek Jeter's group and Jeb Bush's group are apparently going to team up and try to work out a deal to buy the Marlins. Jeb Bush, of course, the former governor of Florida. Derek Jeter, the great Yankee shortstop. So Dansby Swanson hits with 2 outs and nobody aboard. 5 up, now 6 up, 7 down in a row for Joe Ross. He has struck out 5 men.
I know he's had a lot of runs to work with, but he's pitched a good ball game so far in his first start.
One ball, one strike. Popped up. And Bryce Harper will take care of that. 3 more up, 3 more down for Ross, who's set down 8 in a row. He leads by 4 as we go to the 6th.
Down 7-3, top of the 6th. Yeah, I went to Hope and Will Sandlot for the game within the game. And if you're 10 years old and you talk a lot of trash, look out, because I'm coming after you on the climbing wall. Chop 'em all. Well, I lost at that one. I come back strong right here. I'm getting some action, and here we have the clincher. That one didn't go so well for me. I rebound right there. I'm able to shake hands, acknowledge good game, guys. That was Jack and Will. Thanks for the sportsmanship. Sorry I got a little rough there at the end. Had a blast with you guys. The game within the game.
Tough
Chip
competitor, aren't you? Just
I am. It's hard to turn it off.
Yeah.
When, you know, it was a blast, guys. I'm not just saying that for camera. It is a blast in center field. And I learned that you don't have to be a teenager to enjoy it. So mom and dad, get after it.
What's your favorite game out there, Paul? Do you have a favorite?
You know, the Chop-A-Mole was pretty good. It took me back, and the climbing wall is outstanding. The run to first, you can race against whatever player you want, so I chose Inciarte.
Yeah, and you did that with running with dress shoes on, right?
I did. Thanks for mentioning that, Chip. Yep, it caused a little hitch in my gait, but I was able to put a good time on the board, and man, it's just a blast. I mean, I like good food too, but you know, when you get out and have fun with the games and the kids and all that, it's just, I don't want to come back. But I can't come back to well, do some work, guys.
okay.
Good stuff.
It is good stuff.
How about Paul shoving the kids? Hey, what's that about? After he got beat. That's awesome.
It's tough to turn it off.
He's one of a kind, folks. As Comenter faces the Nationals in the 6th, Eaton, Rendon, and Bryce Harper, the hitters. There's a good pitch. Eaton didn't get it. He swung and missed at a couple of off-speed pitches that have fooled him tonight. Something maybe the Braves can file away and use. Comenter has his second strikeout in relief, 1 man down. Here's Rendon, an infield hit last time up. R.A. Dickey and Steven Strasburg here tomorrow night. Braves will fly after the game to Philadelphia, open up a weekend series Friday, Saturday, and Sunday with the Phillies.
Another good change.
Brandon can't get it. It one hops into center field. Rendon has a hit, his second of the game.
So when do we see these guys next? Back here at home in May, the 19th, 20th, and 21st. I'll bet when they come back, Anthony Rendon is hitting somewhere in the 250 to 260 range, if not higher.
Yeah, he's too good a hitter to be under 200. And again, the Braves have to face Bryce Harper with men on base. Solo homer with 2 outs in the first, grand slam in the second. They walked him intentionally in the fourth.
1 for 6 in his career against Josh.
And Harper sent the Nationals onto this long, schedule unfriendly road trip in the most dramatic fashion possible. Washington down to their last strike, trailing the Phillies. He hit a 3-run walk-off home run to beat Philadelphia at Nationals Park. And he hasn't stopped hitting since.
And was that off John Mark Gomez?
I think it was Benoit.
Oh, Benoit, right. And as soon as Benoit threw the pitch, he was already walking to the dugout.
It had that sound, I guess.
Yes, it did. He showed bunt there against the shift, and if you've hit 2 homers already, I don't want to swing it.
He did launch one the other way. Bonifacio, long run. He got there. And Rendon all the way around to second base is going to be doubled up. Throw it to first. There's the double play. C.B. Buckner made the call and left and called out. But now the other 3 umpires are going to gather in the center of the diamond and talk about this to see if this ball was trapped.
Those 3 guys were further away from the play than C.B. Buckner, but they all saw this, and Buckner didn't. Right call. It was the right call. But good heavens, people.
So Brian Snitker out for a chat with Manny Gonzalez. He wants an explanation as to the overrule here.
It didn't even require Dusty Baker coming out of the dugout. The other 3 umpires among themselves outside of Buckner were already gathering, saying, yeah, that ball dropped. He missed it.
But they confer and they got the call right. And the Nationals have runners first and second. 3 hits for Harper. And Murphy 0 for Atlanta. Hits with 2 on and 1 out. 7 runs on 10 hits for Washington in the game. One and 1 your count. Murphy has been a great acquisition for the Nationals ball club. And he just bounced to short. Dansby's got it, steps on the bag, and the throw to first in time. And that'll end the inning. It's double play. So Coleman gets Murphy to roll out. Braves are up in the 6th inning. Freeman, Markakis, and Phillips will try to make a game of it next. Third time through the order for Joe Ross. The 6th inning starts with Freddie Freeman, Nick Markakis, Brandon Phillips to follow. It's a 7-3 Nationals game. Braves have been doubled up in hits 10-5 to this point. Freddie Freeman has reached base in 12 consecutive plate appearances, a new Atlanta Braves franchise record. He'll try to extend it here in the 6th.
He's not the first pitcher to have him 0-2 during this stretch either.
Ground ball. Defoe in the shift. And close play at first, and Freeman barely out. That's another thing you love about Freddie. He doesn't take at bats off. He was busting down the line and almost beat that play at first base. So his on-base streak comes to an end. And the first out of the inning brings Nick Markakis to the plate. Nick has an RBI hit tonight.
Like he did last year, Ross will fit in nicely with this staff of veterans, pitchers, starting pitchers. Strasburg tomorrow night. And we're told a new look, Steven Strasburg, in terms of his delivery.
He works out of the stretch exclusively. See how it works out, beginning with Braves Live at 7 o'clock. Strike to Nick, 3-1 the count. the middle, a base hit. 2-hit night for Nick Markakis. And 6 hits for the Braves. Brandon Phillips coming up. Third 2-hit game for Nick so far this year. Let's see if Atlanta can put together a big inning. That got Manny Gonzalez behind the plate. They've got Wieters too. Strike one.
Yeah, it actually I think came off of the shin guard of Matt Wieters. He came up and took a bite out of Manny. Shin guard, bounce up, pow right in the bicep.
Driven toward Harper and right. Price, though, onto the warning track will have room. Phillips hit it hard, but is the second out. And another try for Adonis Garcia. The Braves' third baseman is 2.
Solid contact his last time up with that line drive to right. But as Chip told you, he's now 4 for 44 against right-handed pitching.
And bounced foul. Strike one. Julio Teheran started for the Braves. Ran into the Bryce Harper buzzsaw tonight. Bryce got him for 2 more home runs, giving him 7 in his career against Julio. 7 runs in 4 innings. Allowed by the Braves right-hander. Ross pitching on here into the 6th. He's allowed 3 runs on 6 hits. Fly ball center. Eaton is there. And that retires the side. We head to the 7th in Atlanta. Washington a big lead.
Atlanta Braves baseball is brought to you by your local Ford dealer and the Georgia Lottery.
7-3. Washington has the lead. Nationals come up here in the 7th inning. Zimmerman, Heisey, and Matt Wieters for Dusty Baker's ball club. Washington trying to go to 9-5. Braves try to avoid a 6-8 start. Zimmerman 1 for 3 tonight. His single came in the 5th inning and out of play. Mentioned a couple of times Zimmerman got to the big leagues in quick fashion for Washington. He was the 2nd player in the 2005 draft to make it to the big leagues after being selected. Do you know who the first player was?
I do not.
It was Joey Devine.
Is that right?
Yep. Joey Devine was the first player from that draft to get to the show, and he was pressed into emergency duty, you recall, because the Braves bullpen needed so much help.
In 2005.
Yeah. And Zimmerman under contract through 2019.
I felt so rotten for Joey Devine in Houston when he gave up the home run to Brad Ausmus, or excuse me, not to Ausmus, but to the infielder Burke.
Chris Burke.
Chris Burke for the game winner, the walk-off. I never felt so bad for a player, seeing him in the tunnel outside the clubhouse just crying his eyes out. And he's 3 months removed from college baseball and served up a pitch that ended the season. So it was tough duty.
And Joey, terrific kid, real good arm, and unfortunately elbow problems are what really derailed his major league career. And another hit for Zimmerman, this one on a 2-2 pitch, and he'll stop at first with a leadoff hit here in the 7th.
Here's what they were talking about with Zimmerman before they came to town. They were worried that the off day may throw off his timing. Look at this. He gets fooled. Big high leg kick, off speed pitch, out on his front foot, kept the bat back long enough to still rake it for a base hit. So I'd say he's still got his timing.
And he's got 2 more hits. Here's Heisey, 0 for 2. Still no update from the Nationals as to Jason Worth's injury. He came out of the game in the 3rd inning. Heisey finished up his at bat that frame, struck out in the 5th. The Mets were winners tonight. They beat the Phillies 5-4. Mets haven't been the same since that 16-inning game they played with Miami. They've had all kinds of bullpen issues. Way upstairs, and I believe they get Juris Familia back tomorrow. He's eligible to come back from his 15-game or 15-day suspension. It's game. And Penn had given up 9 earned runs in their last 11 1/3 innings pitched coming into tonight's matchup with the Phillies. So getting Familia back will be a welcome sight for Terry Collins' club. We will see the Mets again on our next road trip.
Everybody in the division's just glad that no one took off, which they could have. The Nationals came into play tonight at 8-5, but say they were 11-2.
Popped up to right. Heisey will be the first out.
That would be a very generous lead at this point.
Well, you know, you look at the division, and all the experts say the top 2 teams are the Nationals and Mets. I think that's probably a fair assessment. But if you look at the way that the East shapes out, all of these teams have real big flaws right now. Let's start with the Nationals. Dusty Baker doesn't know who's going to close games for him.
Yeah, their bullpen's an issue.
The Mets, same story, health, and at least on paper at first look, as that one sizzled foul by Wieters, the Mets have kind of a one-dimensional offense. They hit homers and score a lot of runs. They don't hit homers, they don't score any, right?
Yes.
And Miami Terrific, dynamic, young offensive club. Very good bullpen. Do they have enough starting pitching depth? No balls and a strike. Wieters didn't get it. Phillies, can they score runs? Can they close games out? So far the answer to that has been no, an awful lot. And you know about the Braves, kind of a roller coaster, up and down first couple of weeks. So it really is a muddled Eastern Division chase right now, and the Braves have a lot of divisional games coming up, a chance to make some hay. See if they can do it. 1 ball, 2 strikes for the Nationals catcher.
I don't know in the middle of April if you have a series where you want to send a message. I think that's a little early.
Wieters chased a bad ball and is struck out, 2 away.
But you know the Braves wanted to prove to themselves a little something in this series.
And it looked like they were going to answer Washington after their 3-1 win last night with a good first inning, but it got out of hand in the second. Our game summary brought to you by your local Chevy dealers. Georgia Drive Chevy, find new roads.
And Bryce Harper in this series already 5 for 5, 2 doubles, 2 homers.
And a fair ball off the bat of Defoe down the right field line. Zimmerman will head to third. Defoe's got a double. He's been on base 3 times tonight. Very impressive work for the National shortstop, who not only has caught the ball tonight, he's seen a ton of pitches, and here makes excellent contact.
Yeah, he stayed back looking for that changeup. And even with Freddie holding a runner on, he's able to hook it by him.
First double for Defoe. And Ross will hit for himself, of course, with a big lead in the 7th inning. He's 0 for 3. There's no doubting Washington has had the Braves number. They've won 16 of the last 20 games head-to-head coming into play tonight. A couple of years ago, the Braves went 0 for Washington. They lost all 10 games played at Nationals Park. They had a couple of chances last night against Max Scherzer, but the reigning Cy Young Award winner thwarted those rallies. Atlanta had a chance in the 9th, couldn't break through. Led 2-1 tonight after 1. And then Washington came storming back, and one of the reasons they've been able to play so well tonight is the man in the batter's box. Joe Ross has thrown exceptionally well in this game. Good looking young pitcher. And he had a healthy cut there. 2 balls and a strike. But that's the man that's going to get most of the headlines, and deservedly so.
I want to talk about the schedule for just a second. You're talking about their tough schedule that's ongoing right now. When Miami played a game at home the other night and against the Mets, and this was the day after their 16-inning game, they then flew in the middle of the night to Seattle, played the next day, and got clobbered. San Diego played a night game here on Monday. Flew home, played last night against Arizona, got clobbered. So the old thing about flying west, well, you're going to get a 3-hour time difference, and that'll be the difference in having to play in back-to-back days. It's not.
2 balls, 2 strikes. I think most of the people that say that, and most of the people that make the schedules, are people who haven't done the kind of travel that the players and traveling party have to do.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, you have a charter jet.
No question.
All the flying conditions are wonderful.
Three and 2 to the pitcher. And Ross pops it up. Who wants this one? It'll be Nick Markakis. And Clementer retires the side in the 7th. It's time to stretch. Time for the Braves to get some offense going. They're down 7-3.
Braves down 7-3. SunTrust Park has a lot of unique things, not just restaurant and foods and sandlots, but bobbleheads. That's right, huge bobbleheads. And as you see right there, Knucksy, the knuckleballer, shaking the head. There's Murph. And Gretchen Caney's favorite, John Smoltz, getting some action with the ladies. One of the best pitchers that ever threw the game, Greg Maddux. Tom Glavine is somewhere around in this stadium. You'll have to go look for him in a case so that you can't touch it. It's so valuable. Chip and Joe, you guys need a bobblehead very soon. Back to you guys.
That's a very kind sentiment, Paul, but there are many, many more deserving guys way ahead of us.
Come on, we listen to you guys all night. You do a great job. I'm lobbying for the Chip and Joe bobblehead. It's my goal.
Thanks,
Make
Bernie.
it happen.
We'll put a little bird on her shoulder.
Yeah, there you go. And one eyebrow on mine. We got it covered. Yohan Camargo will be the Atlanta hitter. Clementer 3 shutout innings of 5-hit relief for Julio Teheran. When Matt Kemp returns tomorrow, Braves will have to make a roster move to accommodate him on the 25-man. For Brian Snitker, Matt Kemp, by the way, went 1 for 3 tonight. Thanks, Chan. And an RBI as well. So sounds like everything went well for Matt. And it'll be great having him back in the middle of this lineup again. Camargo, Recker, and Bonifacio in the Atlanta 7th. 7-3, Washington the lead.
Standing next to Camargo in the dugout today, he's a big guy. For a shortstop, he is solid.
And he really was impressive in spring training. Opened a lot of eyes on the Braves coaching staff. Baseball America rates his defensive skills very highly. He had about a 6-day stretch where he had trouble catching the ball, and that pretty much spoiled a chance for him to make the opening day roster. And he went around and is struck out. 1 away in the 7th. That's 6 strikeouts for Ross tonight. Celebrate the first year at SunTrust Park with first girls night out on Friday, May 19th. All right. Arrive early for a pregame party with a live band at the new Coca-Cola Roxy, and then enjoy the Braves and the Nationals again. Go to Braves.com BetMGNO.
Girls' night out. I like that. Go to the Roxy for a little pregame party. Come over here for a little baseball party.
There you go. And a bounding ball to third. Rendon's got it. His throw right on the money. And Recker has grounded out to third for a third time. And here's Bonifacio.
Brewers blew a lead today against the Cubs and lost in the ninth inning, as Kelsey showed us on that walk-off homer by Addison Russell. But I was really surprised to learn today that the Milwaukee Brewers are leading baseball in home runs. And at the time that I heard this, they had more than twice as many home runs as the Cubs.
Eric Thames has a lot to do with that. Guy that they brought over from Korea. Cubs had trouble getting him out.
I think Ryan Braun has 5.
Always fun when the Braves play the Brew Crew. We'll see them at the end of the next road trip. And Milwaukee in second place in the Central, behind the surprising Cincinnati Reds, who lead the NL Central. Cardinals in last place. Cubs a game over 500 with their win tonight.
The Reds and the Rockies can be commended for where they are, given all their injuries, especially to the Reds pitching staff.
4 starters disabled for Brian Price's club. Kid that pitched tonight has opened some eyes. Amir Garrett. He's a 6'7" left-hander. Played basketball at St. John's and is now a major league pitcher for them. And any team that has Joey Votto on it is one you want to pay attention to. And they're doing this good work without Devin Mesoraco, their catcher, who had the hip labrum surgery, and he may be back in a couple of days.
Yeah, he missed all of last season.
Pirates lost today 2-1 to the Cardinals. Again, the Starling Marte thing, a real tragedy for the Pirates. I was listening to MLB radio today, and Ken Rosenthal was on. Marte knew about the positive test before the WBC. And there's apparently an in-house appeals process that takes place for the player to challenge the results of the test. And the player's allowed to play while that appeal is pending. Wonder why it took over a month to have that resolved, and why Marte was allowed to play. Swing and a miss takes care of Bonifacio.
I'm with you.
And Russ is rolling along. 7 strikeouts through 7 innings, and the Nationals have a 7-3 lead. But tonight's showstopper is the man that plays right field for Dusty Baker's ball club. Bryce Harper, playing in his second game here at SunTrust Park. Well, came in with a big bang, didn't he, Kelsey?
Oh, yes. It has to be Bryce Harper. 3 for 3 tonight, Nick.
Well, you know, he came in the game 419 versus Tehran with 5 home runs. He continued that day 3 for 3 with 2 home runs off of Tehran. Tehran just cannot get him out. He also had an intentional walk and a single. But Harper is a guy you can't let beat you when you have the bases loaded, as he did in the second inning. You have nothing, but you have to pitch to him. You can't do anything about it. So you can see the last 35 games versus the Braves. 336 with 11 home runs. It's not just Tehran, it's the Braves in general. These are incredible numbers. And you know what? You have to get guys off base. Otherwise, Harper's going to beat you.
Yeah, now, Chip and Joe, I'm curious what you guys think. Julio didn't have his best stuff tonight, only going the 4 innings. But versus Harper tonight, do you think it was more Harper being on or Julio being off?
Joe?
Yes, I do. And that's not a good combination, as we have noticed tonight. And when Julio's not hitting his spots, good hitters, especially Harper, when he's kind of in Julio's head, they're going to take advantage of it. But what was most impressive to me was with the bases loaded, Julio made a good pitch. It wasn't a knockdown pitch. It was a brushback pitch to try to get him off the plate a little bit. came right back and nailed the home run for the slam.
And this will be the second time I've said this. We won't know till the game is over. When a starting pitcher throws 90, 100 pitches, many folks say, well, one pitch doesn't make that big of a difference in the game. I think the first pitch Julio threw to that man tonight in the first inning totally changed Julio's approach. Harper hit it out of the ballpark. Washington led 1-0. Added 5 more in the second and hasn't looked back. Ian Cole is the third Atlanta hurler tonight. Kroll's going to come on and start the 8th inning. He's got the top of the order. Eaton, Rendon, and that man Bryce Harper again.
6th outing already for Ian, and good work, as you said, by Cole Mentor for 3 innings.
2 hits, 2 runs for Adam Eaton tonight. He's also stolen a base. So he's gotten on in all 13 games he started this year for Washington. And his average up to .333.
Until Trey Turner came along last year, the Nationals had really been hunting and pecking for a leadoff man and hadn't been very successful. Turner was outstanding for them in the last couple of months, and now they've got 2 good ones.
Well, as exciting a player as Trey Turner is, I love watching him play. I just hate seeing him do what he does to the Braves. I mean, he last year at least was, I think, a more devastating player against Atlanta than even Bryce Harper was. Atlanta just could not get him out. So he'll be a welcome return for Dusty Baker's crew as he's coming back from hamstring issues. And a rough start for Kroll to walk the leadoff man in front of Rendon, who's got a couple of hits in his 4 at-bats tonight.
Yeah, it's more walks than strikeouts for Ian. That's 5 walks in 4 2/3 innings.
Pop fly foul. Steve Reich won. Oakland beat Texas today 9-1. The Rangers have to be one of the big disappointments in the major leagues this year. They're 5-10 now. Rangers were thought to be the best team in the AL West. Right now Houston's atop the pile out there. Houston winning again tonight, 3-1 over the Angels. Royals 1-0 over San Francisco. That's Madison Bumgarner pitching for the Giants in Kansas City tonight.
And a return to Kauffman Stadium.
Now here's an interesting question. I don't know the answer to it. I wonder if Bumgarner's hitting in that game or if they're going to use the DH. For Bruce Bochy, you might hesitate and say, wait a minute, I don't want to take his bat out of the lineup.
That is a very good question. Well, we're having trouble scoring runs, so we're going to let the pitcher hit.
Making all the position players very happy. 0-2 is out of play foul.
I don't think you'd have one position guy gripe about that.
At least not to Bumgarner face to face,
Well,
right?
That's right. Or to Bruce Bochy, who would say, let's go to the stat sheet, shall we?
Yeah.
Another good shot looking in from the outfield.
And that game in Kansas City, by the way, is 1-0 Royals in the 7th inning. So that's a beautiful pitching matchup. Vargas and Bumgarner.
He is not hitting. Posey's DHing.
And Posey's just back from the 7-day concussion list. So that's good news for the Giants, who are 4 games back out west. 0-2, runner goes, and Rendon skies it out of play. Eaton running with a 7-3 lead and an 0-2 count with Rendon up there. Recker and I stop. Rendon took it. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
That attempted steal that did not come off because of the foul ball caused Ian Kroll to adjust his delivery that time to a slide step and almost threw it to the backstop. Back to that Starling Marte conversation we were having in the last half inning, Chip. I heard some conversations today on radio from some ex-players who were commenting and discussing lifetime bans and how it could be enforced and how it may be ultimately the only way to dissuade players from even thinking about it.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Well, obviously it's a 3-step process now with incrementally larger penalties for each subsequent offense. 3rd time it's a lifetime ban. But as we talked about last night, apparently there's not enough of a disincentive for players to be tempted to try to get away with it. And looking at this selfishly from the Braves' perspective, if this was something that, again, Ken Rosenthal was talking about today, that baseball knew was taking place, if there had been a positive test in the middle of spring training, maybe even earlier than spring training started, how in the world can it take 4 weeks for that investigative process to take place? I'm all for the investigative process. I have no problem with that.
Yeah, but let's get it done before the season starts.
If you look at what happened to the Braves in Pittsburgh, for example, as that one's caught, Rendon's out on strikes. Marte was instrumental in a 3-game sweep against Atlanta. If he's not available, who knows how that particular series might have turned out. So there was a huge competitive advantage for the Pittsburgh Pirates that affected them and the Braves. That's not right.
I agree.
So I don't know how you fix that either. And I certainly don't know how to get out Bryce Harper, who is part of our season of firsts, the first Grand Slam at SunTrust Park, presented by Bill Holt Chevrolet. As I mentioned last night, there's some in baseball who wondered, okay, was Harper's MVP year Was Harper's MVP year 2 years ago a blip on the screen? Was last year a little more like what we'd see out of Bryce Harper? If the first weeks of this season are any indication, Harper is going to have another monster campaign. He's got another hit here, and he chases Eaton to third. He's going to try for two, and he's going to slide in safely. Another extra base hit for Bryce Harper. That gives him 5 extra base hits in this series, and a 4-hit game in the 8th inning.
Cleared his hips, got that quick bat through there, almost nailed his teammate with a line drive, and was thinking 2 all the way. Great cut of the bag at first.
You know what? I know he's doing it against the Braves, but as someone who loves the game, and I really love watching great young players play, I tip my cap and salute Bryce Harper for playing hard. He ran with doubles intent the moment that ball left his bat, and let's be honest, we've seen Harper not do that a time or two against the Braves.
Yeah, when he's not going good, he's kind of hard to. It's hard for him to maintain that, but it is hard for any player to remain focused when you're going through a bad spell.
1 ball, no strikes. Arbuckle Jenkins, our great stat man downstairs, had an amazing number for us. That is the first 4-hit game for Bryce Harper against the Braves.
Is that right?
That is surprising, as well as he's hit Atlanta pitching.
Oh, he's now 6 for 6 in the series. 3 doubles, 2 homers.
Way outside. Cole's having all kinds of trouble here in the 8th. His job was to get the 3 lefties here: Eaton, Harper, and Murphy. He walked the first one. Harper's just doubled. Now it's 3-0 to Murphy. And he just walked him on 4 pitches to load the bases. Chuck Hernandez on his way to the mound with Ryan Zimmerman coming up with the bases loaded and a big 7-3 Washington lead. SunTrust Confidence Play of the Game is tomorrow night's pitching matchup. Steven Strasburg, R.A. Dickey. Can't think of 2 men with more contrasting pitching styles that will work the final game of the series.
Yeah, that will be different and fun to watch. Strasburg has had problems himself with Atlanta, especially in the heat of the summertime over at Turner Field. So I don't know if his fortunes will change here at SunTrust Park, especially in April weather or not. But he has pitched better against the Braves in the last probably 10 starts.
And he got off to an all-world start last year. I think he was 13-0 and then got hurt. For the Nationals, and they're counting on him quite obviously in a big way. Bouncing ball by Zimmerman, foul, strike 1. 7 runs, 13 hits for the Nationals. They've left 8 on base. 3 runs, 6 hits for the Braves, who've left 3. This relentless Washington offense has been retired in order 1 time tonight. That was in the 3rd inning, and Julio Teheran's the man that did it. Paid attendance tonight, 22,101. Hope to see you all here tomorrow night.
Zimmerman swinging a hot bat, as we've been saying, and does not run as well as he did when he first broke into the league. Kroll trying to offset that big high leg kick, and it's his timing by trying to get him to roll over the top of one.
Driven to right and deep. That ball is gone. An opposite field grand slam for Ryan Zimmerman. Wow.
2 walks and the double preceded this, but when you see the replay of the location, you'll understand why. Been talking about Zimmerman and his ability to, in his timing being so good. Our Yellowwood bringing the lumber. Target in, pitch up and away. And similar to the double he hit down the right field line last night that produced a big run in their 3-1 win. Jumped all over that.
His 6th career grand slam. The Nationals have hit 2 grand slams tonight. Well, Joe, you take those away, we'd have a tie game.
Well, I know where you could start asking, and it'd be the third base umpire.
Yeah. Izzy hits one high in the air. This one's deep toward left. Bonifacio to the warning track. Leaps up against the wall. Can't make the play. Izzy in at second. And Washington is teeing off against Ian Kroll. And the Braves don't want to, but they may have no choice but to go into their bullpen again. And now Matt Wieters, the batter. Wieters, a switch hitter. You see him bat right-handed here in the top of the 8th. 4 more Washington runs.
Isn't it amazing at this level, though, when you are having a tough night like Kroll is, and then you make a mistake like that on location? He's throwing hard. You know, he's 93, 94, 95.
Another bullet, this one to the opposite field. Markakis plays it on a hop. Washington will hold Heisey at third, and Wieters puts runners at first and third.
The ability of these players and these hitters in this lineup for Washington, you make a mistake on location and it's not just a single in many cases, it's a long one.
So a disastrous 8th inning for Ian Kroll, a third of an inning, 4 hits, 4 runs, 2 walks. He did strike out a batter, but he's allowed the 2nd of 2 Nationals grand slams tonight.
Atlanta Braves baseball is brought to you by Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. And by Delta Airlines. Georgia Drive Chevy. Find new roads. And by True Green, America's #1 professional lawn care company. Live life outside.
Luke Jackson will take over for Ian Kroll here in the 8th inning. And he's done a nice job in his first 2 appearances in a Braves uniform.
Sure has.
Including an inning and a third of spotless relief last night.
It's like Jason Duffner, the golfer. Mop of hair sticking out of his hat.
Wilmer Defoe. Bookend hits for the National shortstop. And Jackson misses high. Wow, interesting note from the Nationals PR staff. The last time they had a 2 Grand Slam game was July 27th, 2009 in Milwaukee, and Josh Willingham hit them both. Have a day.
The hammer.
2 balls, no strikes. And out of play by Defoe.
Pretty good test for Jackson. This is his 3rd straight day, including that inning and a third last night, even though he retired all 4 batters he faced. Didn't have to throw that many pitches.
First and third, 1 out. And a bouncing ball hit toward Dansby. He bobbles. And Phillips will make the play at second, but that bobble allows Heisey to score the 5th run of the inning. And Washington adds another. It's now 12-3. No error on the play. You can't assume the double play. Defoe picks up an RBI. And that run belongs to Ian Kroll.
Rough night all around.
And Ross will hit for himself. Bouncing ball to second. Throw to first. And that is the inning. Ian Kroll surrenders 5 runs in a third of an inning. Zimmerman hit the 2nd Grand Slam for Washington. Hawks and Wizards is in progress on Fox Sports Southeast. And more NBA action will come your way on Saturday at 5 o'clock on Fox Sports Southeast. It also streams on Fox Sports Go. Last report we had, the Hawks were leading in that game. We'll try to get you a score update in just a moment. As we head to inning number 8, wholesale changes for the Nationals. We'll get you caught up on that as Chase Darno will lead off for the Braves.
And he's going to face a flame-throwing guy, Enny Romero. And when you lead 12-3. Any Romero will do. He's in his 5th game. A little bit of a rough start for his season, but a chance for him to kind of get back on track with a big lead.
Michael Taylor takes over in right for Bryce Harper. And Romero for Ross, who went 7 innings of 3 runs, 7 strikeout ball. A very impressive season debut.
Yeah, he gave up 3 hits in the first inning and only 3 total the rest of the way.
And the Hawks game's final, by the way, they fell to Washington tonight. 109-101.
Dang, they had come back to take the lead in the 3rd quarter. Just have to come home and even it up.
A 4-pitch walk for d'Arnaud. Not what Romero wanted to do with a 9-run lead. But all help is appreciated for the Braves. Here's Dansby, 0 for 3 tonight. Couple of strikeouts for Swanson. Didn't like the called third he took in the 3rd. He thought it was outside. Disappointing part of that was Freeman followed with a long homer into the water feature in center. That would have made it a 6-4 game. And you would have felt a little better about your chances at that point, but after Freeman's home run, the next Braves hit came with 1 out in the 6th. As Ross was very effective. And Romero another strike, 0-2. To Rendon at 3rd. He'll make the peg to 1st. d'Arnaud at 2nd. And there's the 1st out. So there's Michael Taylor in for Bryce Harper. Adam Lind has taken over for Zimmerman at first base. And here's Freddie Freeman. Highlight of the night for the Braves, Freddie Freeman. His consecutive on-base streak reached 12, which is a new Atlanta Braves record, 12 in a row, that is. And he put a capper on that in dramatic style with a long home run. And now he's pushed off the plate with ball 1. Romero pitched in 52 games in Tampa Bay last year, high ERA. Again, Washington looking for any kind of bullpen help they can find. Taking a flyer on this guy.
Left-hander that throws hard. We'll see if we can get him straightened out. That's the attitude most would take.
He's gone 3-0 to Freddie. Freddie with another base hit. d'Arnaud's going to round 3rd. He's going to score easily. Another RBI for Freddie Freeman, who's just Amazing. He's knocked in 2 of the 4 Atlanta runs. And like Bryce Harper returning a message to Julio Teheran, Freddie got brushed back, didn't flinch on that pitch, and ripped a solid single to right field.
And his first non-homer RBI. Showing some top hand on this pitch. And hooking that to right.
Two hits for Nick Markakis, including an RBI single in the first, so he's 2 for 3.
Braves had a hard time with runners in scoring position last night. Tonight they're 3 for 4.
Problem is Bryce Harper was in scoring position twice in the batter's box.
Yes.
And now Wieters will talk it over with Romero.
Yeah, he's trying to get him to calm down. You know, throw strikes. Everybody knows you can throw hard, but throw it over the plate. Looking for outs, not necessarily strikeouts.
That one in a good spot. 2 balls and a strike. Now it's 2-2. That one tipped and caught. Markakis is down swinging. And 2 are away in the Atlanta 8th. Brandon Phillips with an RBI hit in the first gave the Braves a 2-1 lead way back when. Brandon's got a hit now in 10 of his last 11 games. Two balls and a strike. Freddie Freeman. Another big night at the plate. He'll take aim at Steven Strasburg tomorrow night. The pitch. A little late.
Since that visit by Matt Wieters, he's been around the plate. Wow, look at that, a chart. Don't see those much anymore.
bouncing ball to second. Murphy surrounds it, and that ends the Atlanta 8th. Braves push across a 4th run, trail by 8 as we go to the 9th.
All right, Braves fans, still got one more big game tomorrow.
Atlanta Braves baseball is brought to you by your local Toyota dealer. Let's go places. And SunTrust.
(12-4) after 8 innings, 2 grand slams hit by the Nationals tonight. April in the ATL continues this Saturday as Real Salt Lake faces Atlanta United. Coverage starts at 9 Eastern with Atlanta United live. You can catch the game on Fox Sports Southeast, on CW 69 in Atlanta, and on Fox Sports Go. Check your local listings. Darno is in the game to play left. Bonifacio moves to center, and Adam Eaton is up again. This is the 6th time Eaton's grabbed a bat in the game.
6th time through the order for them, and the Braves haven't even completed 4 at-bats for their lineup.
One ball, 2 strikes. 3 runs for Eaton out of the leadoff spot tonight. And he has lived up to his media guide billing as an elite defender with elite contact hitting offensive approach in game 2 tonight. Rendon to follow. And a full count. Popped up out of play. We were hoping to have Tom Glavine join us for the game tonight in the broadcast booth. Tom had a prior commitment, so he's not available to join us. I think Tom's going to join us when we come back for the next homestand. I think Tommy's back home in a game like this practicing his version of Wabash Cannonball.
That would be timely.
Yep. Ground ball to first. Freddie scoops that up. Eaton's going to be out. And the 9th inning starts with a ground ball to first. 1 away. And here's Rendon.
Was Michael Taylor walking up to the plate? I don't know if Rendon said, hold on there just a second.
Well, they've got 16 hits. You can understand why everybody want to race to the batter's box tonight, but you still have to wait your turn because Rendon is so lauded offensively for exemplary hand and wrist strength, plate coverage, and pitch recognition. I mean, a guy like that always has to hit before a guy that comes in late in the game like Taylor.
One would think.
Who writes that stuff, I wonder?
I think they hire a firm.
You think so?
I hope so.
I sure hope it's not our pal Kyle Brostowitz, who used to work for the Braves. It's a great media guy, but boy, they lay it on thick. Well, 1 ball, 1 strike. For Anthony Rendon, who is a terrific player. Up high.
It's almost like a review of a wine that just came out. Exquisite texture.
Yeah. With hints of blackberries, yes, currants, and leather.
Yes.
Right.
And can really get
a base hit to left. Still, though, the line of the year when we had Alan Cordoba up and we started talking about the Corinthian leather, I was amazed that you knew how that material is made.
Yeah, you got to soften it. It just no other way to really do it correctly.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Joe had me crying because he said it's leather that's chewed up by yaks.
Yeah. In Corinthia.
Here is Michael Taylor. "17 hits for Washington. And you got to give Jackson a lot of credit tonight, as Joe mentioned, his 3rd outing in as many days, and he's trying to buy some outs for the rest of the bullpen. Another hit. That's number 18. Michael Taylor's in on the fun. And there is a man on that Nationals bench that's saying, hey, fellas, you might want to save a couple for tomorrow. That man is Steven Strasburg.
Stephen Drew there on the left. He's on the 10-day DL. He was going to get some extended playing time after Turner got hurt, and I think the very next day he got hurt.
So here's Murphy. 2 walks. Murphy's 0 for 7 officially in the series. Braves Live is presented by Xfinity. That will follow us. And this one got out of hand very early. It was 6-2 after 2. When Bryce Harper hit a grand slam, and Braves have had to play catch up all night, and that's really been a disturbing trend for the club, despite what will likely be a 6-8 start. Braves have fallen behind now in 13 of the 14 games in which they've played. That is not a recipe for a great deal of success.
And they'll get a fresh chance to rectify that as early as tomorrow night.
1-0 for Murphy. 2 on, 1 out. And laced foul. Royals did beat the Giants in Madison Bumgarner. A 2-0 Kansas City shutout tonight. Cleveland and the Twins were rained out. Houston leads L.A. 5-1. L.A. the Angels, that is. Fly ball toward d'Arnaud in left, and that's the 2nd out. Ubaldo Jimenez beat Cincinnati 2-0 today. Cubs 7-4 over Milwaukee. We showed you Addison Russell's big hit. Michael Wacha and the Cardinals beat the Pirates and Garrett Cole 2-1. Mets 5, Phillies 4. Hansel Robles picked up the win for New York. here's Adam Lind. A buzzsaw for the Nationals offense tonight. 2 hits, 3 runs for Eaton. 3 hits for Rendon. Harper, 4 hits, 2 homers, 5 RBIs, including a grand slam and 3 runs. Ryan Zimmerman, a 3-hit night, including a slam. That's down the line and into the seats. Chris Heise in for Jason Worth, who hurt himself in a 3rd inning at bat, it appeared, as a double and a run scored. Defoe's been on base 4 times with an RBI and a run. And Joe Ross, their young starter, went 7 innings of 7 strikeout ball, giving the Washington bullpen a very easy night tonight. And Lynn got his hands drawn in and rips a single to right. They're going to wave the runner. Here comes the throw to the plate. It's going to be late. Swipe tag by Recker. Not in time to get Rendon, and Lind off the bench has a hit. And Washington now with 19 hits leads 13-4.
And they got 2 spots in the batting order with 5 RBIs. Number 3 and number 5. Lind was a nice pickup for them. A veteran presence off the bench. Almost 1,200 career hits. 186 career homers.
And at this stage, probably a better defender than Zimmerman. He can come in and play first in a close game. And when you need a man that can hit the ball out of the ballpark off your bench, well, Lynn can certainly do that. Two on, 2 out.
It's a shame for Jackson because he's probably on fumes right now.
Yeah. Fouled away by Heise. It's 0-2. Up the middle, another hit. Here comes Taylor around third. He's going to score. It's a 14-4 game.
Yeah, just not much snap on his breaking ball, and that's why Heise was able to connect there. And Ryan Snitker going to take him out of the ball game, and that's a nice thing to do because he was trying to get through the ball game and give the rest of the bullpen a rest.
Well, he pitched in 3 straight games for Atlanta, ran out of steam here in the 9th. 2 runs, 4 hits allowed by Jackson. 14 runs, 20 hits for Washington. The game summary brought to you by your local Chevy dealers. Georgia Drive Chevy, find your roads.
Right now, Joe Ross is the beneficiary of about 14 runs per start, so he's feeling pretty good about it. Bryce Harper, though, a heck of a night. 2 home runs in the first 2 innings. He had a 4-for-4 night with a walk and 5 RBIs. Zimmerman, 3 hits in each of his last 3 at-bats, including a grand slam. Big nights for those guys. And Freddie Freeman, a good night, too, in what appears to be a losing effort.
Matt Wieters will hit again, this time against Eric O'Flaherty. 14-4. Washington has the lead, and the first pitch skied in the air towards center. Bonifacio is under it, and O'Flaherty throws 1 pitch and send this game mercifully to the bottom of the 9th. (14-4). And Matt Albers will be the 3rd Nationals hurler.
Good work for him out of the bullpen so far. No walks, 2 strikeouts in his 3 innings. One of the guys that's doing okay. Hey.
Grant Green's going to take over for Washington at second base, double switch. So Adonis Garcia will face Albers. And sometimes on the MLB Network radio show, they talk about 1 to 5 panic mode. The 1 being everything's calm and cool. 5 is sheer utter panic. Where are you on the panic meter or the concern meter about Adonis Garcia being 4 for his last 45 against a right-handed pitcher?
I think he needs a rest, personally. I don't know if rest is the right word. He just needs to
a break.
Break, yeah.
We'll see if that happens tomorrow night. It's low outside, and the count even 1-1. Braves lineup will look different for sure tomorrow night, whether Brian Snitker does anything with any of his struggling hitters. And the reason there'll be a change is if everything goes according to plan, Matt Kemp will be back hitting behind Freddie Freeman tomorrow night. 1 ball, 2 strikes. First 20 hit game in the history of SunTrust Park. First 2 Grand Slam game. And all of those things credited to Washington, and that's ricocheted off the pitcher's body. Let's hope he's all right. Garcia's got a hit, and that got Albers flush.
couldn't tell where it got him.
Oh. Upper chest?
Yeah, right up near the collarbone, I think. Fortunate to get his face out of the way.
Albers has been around a long time. Yep, right across the Washington where that ball hit him.
Yeah, it may have actually grazed his chin a little bit before it hit his collarbone.
Albers broke in with Houston back in 2006. He's pitched in Baltimore, Boston, Arizona, Cleveland, back to Houston. Last 2 seasons with the White Sox. Last year, .631 ERA in 58 games. And he's going to try to stay in the game. Kurt Suzuki's going to grab a bat and pinch hit. And while Adonis Garcia is happy with the hit, I'm sure hitters hate line drives that catch the pitcher when it's hit that hard. Looks like Albers is all right, and Garcia's aboard to start the 9th.
Especially on one like that where it looked like it may have hit him in the face or the head. You're not sure at the time.
A strike. Suzuki drives one to right. That'll be playable for Taylor. He's got it. All out. Anthony Recker has rounded out to Rendon 3 times tonight. Double play ball. Defoe to second one. Green the turn. And that is your ball game. The Nationals have won the series and they thumped the Braves tonight 14-4 with 20 hits. Grand slam for Harper, grand slam for Zimmerman, and Joe Ross with 7 innings of brilliant ball. And Joe, the Braves will try to salvage one tomorrow night against Steven Strasburg with R.A. Dickey on the hill.
Maybe that knuckleball will be fluttering and they can throw their timing up a little better.
So a big win for the Washington Nationals. Joe and I will step aside, come back and recap it for you on Braves Live, presented by Xfinity. Kelsey Wingard and Nick Green are standing by with all the highlights and news and notes from around the major leagues.